Slope-intercept form of a line the slope-intercept form of a line. Go ahead and title your notes set. We'll take notes for about 15 minutes. Nothing crazy. All right. The slope-intercept form of a line, you may have seen this before. Y equals mx plus b. Go ahead and write that down. I'm pretty confident, highly confident that some of you have seen this before in math courses prior to me, or maybe even with me. Who got that? I got the pointer. I appreciate that. Y equals mx plus b, and make sure you put these arrows underneath the n. Well, you know what n is. We've been doing slope for the past week and a half, even before Thanksgiving. That's n is always your slope, right? And b, though, you didn't know it, but b is actually your y-intercept. You already know what x and y-intercepts are of a line. Indeed, write this down, nice and clear on your notes. Now the cool thing is, if we want to graph an equation now, we're going to use these 3 easy steps now. In other words, once we have an equation in this form, y equals mx plus b, once you have an equation that looks like this, we know right away what the slope is of a line. It's whatever's in front of the x. And we know what the y-intercept is. It's the number that's by itself without the x. And so once we have it in this form, graphing literally takes less than 10 seconds now with this kind of knowledge. In other words, go ahead and copy down the 3 quick steps to graphing. So this is called quick steps to graph a linear equation based on this knowledge here, based on y equals mx plus b. So go ahead and copy this down, 3 quick steps, nice and neat. Go ahead, I'll give you about a minute to copy that down. So example 1. I'll post this on Google Classroom, so don't worry. So on your notes, I'm going to write example 1 and 2 with a simple mission statement up there on top. Find the slope and y-intercept of the graph of the equation. Find the slope and y-intercept of the graph of the equation. Give you a few seconds to copy this down. All right. So what is the slope of this equation here? Well, let's compare it. 7. I like that. Let's compare it with the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We know that m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. So here, if they ask find the slope, I'll put m is equal to 7. There's my slope, which really means 7 over 1, right? Rise 7, run 1. Vertical 7, horizontal 1. So look at the slope is right there, whatever's in front of the x. Okay, that's done. And the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept is right here, the number that's by itself. Look at the b. So I can write b is equal to 1. That means however this line looks, I know the line crosses the y-axis. If I were to graph it, which I'm not asking you to graph right now, I know this equation crosses the y-axis right here. It may look like that, the line. It may look like that. 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 I don't know. But I do know that it crosses the y-axis at 1, which is the y-intercept. I trained you on this last week before Thanksgiving, what the y-intercept is.
Totally nice of that. The last one is going to be like, whether it's negative or positive, it's going to be like whether you move left or right on the y.
This one?
Yeah.
It's this. Watch, let me draw a graph again. Let me draw an x and y axis. Here's the x-axis. Here's the y-axis. We didn't graph this line yet. I didn't graph it. But I do know this, that when I do graph it, it'll cross the y-axis at positive 1 right there. Right. I'm not sure you said something about left or right. Well, the better way is it crosses its y-axis at that number. So if it was a negative,
it was positive or negative on the y. It depends on like it says -4, so
beautiful. Got you. Now I got you. You're right. So this would be a -4 y-intercept. Excellently done. Very good. Let's go on number 2. So we're done. Here, look at the mission's done. We found the slope of the y-intercept. I didn't ask to graph it, just identify the slope of the y-intercept. Cool. Number 2. The slope is whatever's in front of x. There's your slope. So the slope is -3. Are you kidding me? This is easy. Y-intercept? Well, compare it with y equals mx is b, the form, the slope-intercept form. Oops. Right? So let me make this a plus then. So now I have y equals mx plus b. That means my b, my y-intercept is -4 in this case. It is easy. So let's just say I asked you to graph the line, which I'm not asking you to graph, but let's just say we did graph the line. I don't know how this line looks. We could find out later. But I do know that this line crosses the y-axis at -4. Right here. It may look like this. The line may look like that. The line may look like this. I don't know how the line looks. But it crosses at -4. That's the y-intercept. Oh, by the way, it does have a slope of -3 too. Which means fall 3, run 1. If I made a fraction out of the slope. Which is what we're going to get into right now. So 1 and 2 is pretty straightforward. If they ask you to find the slope of y-intercept, the slope is whatever is in front of x. Y-intercept is the number by itself. We're good to go. Example 3. You guys are doing good for Thursday. Example 3. So same directions. Just write the new equation here. So you don't have to write the equation, the objective here. So just write this equation for example 3. Let's find the slope and y-intercept. What is my slope and what is my y-intercept? That's the question right now. When I look at this equation, it doesn't look like this. It doesn't look like y equals mx plus b. So what do you suppose I should do? Talk to me, Adela. I heard you say something. Hold up, the other person is backwards.
Make sure it's the y below, so pretty much the y below.
Nice. In other words, were you saying that too, Godfrey? Get this to look like this. And when I look at this, I can see that y is by itself. You guys know how to solve for variables. We did this about a month ago. If I ask you to solve for any variable, you're able to isolate it, get it by itself. So let's get y by itself. Let's solve for y. Right here. Let's get y alone. How would you do that again, Adela? Just divide the whole, everything by 2. In other words, the left and right side. Very good. So, if I want to get y alone, I'll divide by 2. Everywhere, though, on the left and right side. What ends up happening? By to that, y is 3x plus 8. Sweet. Sweetness. So far, so good? Now we're in business. Now we're in business. It's starting to look like that now. Now I can identify my slope and my y-intercept. My slope would be 3, whatever's in front of x. My y-intercept is 8. We're done. Excellent, excellent. All right, that's it for today. I don't want to overwhelm you with a bunch of stuff. I want to give you some time to work on your assignments, and I'm going to pass out last week's quiz from before Thanksgiving, quiz 5. I'm going to post it to your ledger so you can see your grade. And if you haven't taken quiz 5, you might want to do that today because your grade's going to be horrific. Okay, so grab your computers. Let's continue.